Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blue Jay Acres. So today, instead of a full day of budget meals, we're going to do a budget dinner and cooking dinner with me and dessert, because I've been cleaning house all day today, Lysoling everything, trying to get the sickness out. Charles woke up this morning with a fever, and he now has this virus that the whole house has been fighting. So thank you guys all so much for asking about Luke yesterday. He is doing much better. Still weak and can't do a lot, but his teacher did resume coming this week. And then next week we'll go back to starting his therapies and stuff like that. So much better. Katie's feeling much better. Ronnie's completely better. I'm completely better, other than we still have this cough. And now Charles has started it, so thank you guys so much for keeping all of us in your prayers and wishing us well. Hopefully this will end soon, but for right now, let's go on and make some dinner. So I got, you guys remember those boxes that I got of fruit the other day, fruits and vegetables. We're gonna make an eggplant parmesan and use those eggplants up. And I had made pasta sauce before, so, and I canned it. I made that with you guys, so we're gonna use some of that. We're gonna make a homemade vanilla pudding for dessert. Charles thought that might feel good on his throat. And I was thinking that too. So he won't be a taste tester tonight, but it's one of his favorites. So, and then we're gonna make a new bread that I haven't made before. So we'll see how that goes. And we're gonna have a big salad and make some homemade Italian dressing to go with that. So that's gonna be tonight's dinner. So let's go on and get started. We're gonna get started with some dessert. Okay, so to make the pudding, we're gonna start by putting in our milk, which we need 2.5 cups. And we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then on a medium heat, we're going to heat this up. Just give it a good whisk. Pudding is a very easy dessert to make, and it tastes so good. Making it from scratch, it tastes so different than getting it from a box. Even the cook and serve, it tastes so much better. Yesterday, some of you were worried about the generator, and did we leave it in the garage? So I just want to tell you real quick, we did not leave the generator in the garage. The generator was actually outside of the garage, and that's why I couldn't show you, because he manually pulled the garage door down. So just the extension cord was going through the garage. So it was outside of the garage, if that makes sense. So, and I didn't want to go manually lift the garage and try and do that with the film and show you guys. I was just keeping it down to keep the exhaust and stuff from coming in the house. And also someone asked if maybe he could show us, or show how he does the generator. I'm sure he will love to do that for you. He loves to show stuff like that. So we'll have him include that in one of his videos where he is talking. All right, let's get back to this. I also got a couple comments on the apron from yesterday. If you see me in the apron, that is meal prep day. I always wear an apron on meal prep day. I don't know why I don't any other time. I guess I just don't go get it. But on meal prep days, I always do an apron. I have for years. Someone else commented that ratatouille would be good with the vegetable boxes that I got. I did not have enough tomatoes for that, but I agree that would be really good. Also, someone said, did I get them, my boxes at a different store maybe, because this time I wasn't happy with them? And the answer is yes, I did. It still was Meijer, but it was a different location. But I had gotten boxes of bananas from there before, but that was it. And so, yeah, I probably won't use that one anymore. Some of the yellow squash I already had to feed to the pigs. But it's okay, because none of it goes to waste. It all goes to, you know, my animals, or to compost. Also, some of you asked, how much do we pay for our pork? And we're going to give you the breakdown of all that after we get our beef. We're getting our beef this weekend. And so then we'll give you a breakdown so you know exactly what I spent for all of our bulk meat purchases for this year. And I just thought that would be an easier way to do it. Also, the dairy that I have been getting. So it's been almost a month now of doing this A2A2, the creamier milk. And honestly, we don't notice that big of a difference. When it is raw milk from our cow, I think we'll notice a huge difference. But for the price and what I could be spending my $40 a week on versus spending half of it just on some milk and some butter, we just don't notice a big enough difference to justify that, I think. So I'm still on a waiting list for a milk share, and that'll be different. But for right now, we are just going to, I think, after this week, not do that. Okay, let's go back over here because this is starting to get done. Okay, I'll make sure I stir this. It's going to start thickening. And this is where, when it's starting to come up to a boil, you don't want it to not be stirred because it will stick to the bottom and then you'll have brown pudding because it'll kind of burn the milk on the bottom. Okay, that's getting thicker. So now I'm going to turn my heat way down. I'm going to take some of this. I've got 3 egg yolks here, and I'm going to add some of this pudding to the egg yolks. And I'm going to just stir that in good. This is called tempering the egg yolks so they don't turn to scrambled eggs when I add them in. And then just add your egg yolks in. And this just cooks for a minute. Okay, so now that is good. I'm going to remove that from the heat. Now we're going to add some vanilla. And about a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to stir that and let that melt. Hold on, I'll get you the bowl. I'm going to turn this burner off. That's it, you guys. This is beautiful vanilla pudding. I just need it to cool a little bit, and then I will put it in the fridge. Put it in a bowl and put it in the fridge. Okay, next we're going to move into the bread, because this needs to rise for an hour. So we are going to use some instant yeast for this one. Now that's something I never used, but I had it in my freezer. So this recipe called for it, so I thought why not break it out and try using the instant yeast for a change. So we're going to start off with 1.5 cups of bread flour. One teaspoon of this instant rise yeast. 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to just stir this up. I'm just going to use my fingers for this. Then we're going to do a 3/4 of a cup of warm water. So that took more like a cup of water. But now it's into a ball. This is like pretty much a no knead. I think you have to knead it like 12 times in just a little bit. Now we are going to cover this with plastic wrap. I have this press and seal. And then on top of that, I'm also going to put a hand towel or a dish towel. All right, now this is gonna sit for an hour, and then we'll look at this again. So for the eggplant, it says I need 1 drying rack. And then I am gonna just slice this eggplant into pieces. Then I'm just gonna set it all here on this drying or this rack, cooling rack. Then I'm gonna take this kosher coarse salt and I'm gonna sprinkle it on the top and just kind of rub it on. This is gonna sit for an hour as well, and it's gonna draw all the moisture, at least it's supposed to, of the eggplant. All right, so that's it. So now this is gonna sit for an hour. Okay, and now our pudding is cooled, so I'm gonna put that in the fridge. Okay, so it has been an hour, so I'm gonna take my baking stone and I'm gonna preheat my oven with the baking stone in it at 500 degrees. Okay, so now we are gonna knead this about 12 times. Now see, I don't see it, it didn't rise at all. In fact, it's kind of chunky. It says to knead it about 12 times. So we'll do that. I'm gonna add a little more flour. 1. Okay, that's about 12 times. Now I'm going to take our parchment paper and I'm going to put this on here, and we're going to try and just kind of push this out to be bread. Okay, now we're gonna let this just rest for about 10 minutes. So with Charles not feeling very good today, we are talking about, this is really a meal, as I'm making the eggplant in the way I only did 1 instead of 2. It's really just me, Ronnie, and Katie gonna eat tonight because Luke won't touch this. And Theo, well, Theo might take a bite or 2. Charles will take a little bit. He would honestly eat this. I've made eggplant parmesan a few times in his life and he always eats it. But with not feeling good, he's not going to eat much of anything. And, you know, we know how he feels. So before anybody says something like that, it's not for a large family. That's because I'm really only feeding 3 tonight. So that's why 1 eggplant and this smaller size of bread. All right, so that's been 10 minutes. Now we're just going to go like this and put the dents in it. Then I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on the top. I'm going to use my brush and just kind of brush it on here. And then sprinkle a little more Italian seasoning on top. And a little bit of this chunkier salt. Now our oven and our stone are preheated. So I'm gonna take our stone out. And I'm just gonna put this directly on the stone. I'm gonna put this back in the oven. It'll bake 10 to 12 minutes. While that's baking, we're gonna work on our eggplant. So it did get some moisture out. I'm just gonna take a towel and just dry and wipe off a little bit of this moisture and the excess salt. Then I'm just gonna set them on a plate. You don't want them to be too salty. While the bread's cooking, we're gonna get the eggplant ready. So next I'm gonna get my 2 dipping pans ready because I'm gonna be breading this eggplant. So I'm gonna add a few eggs. Then we're gonna add about a half a cup of milk. I'm gonna just mix that together. Then I'm going to add some panko breadcrumbs over here. And I'm going to scoot this over. I need to heat a pan with some oil. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to take and dip it in the egg mixture. And then I'm going to dip it in the breadcrumbs. And then I'm going to fry it in a little olive oil so that it gets brown and crispy, and then we're going to start layering it in our casserole dish, or number 13. And I'm going to add a few tablespoons of olive oil in here because I want to fry this up. Okay, and now our bread is done, so I'm going to set that over here to cool. And I'm going to set the oven to 375 because that's what we're going to cook our eggplant parmesan on. I'm going to start adding this to the oil. Okay, I'm gonna just flip this. And I'm gonna do this with all of them, and then we will assemble the eggplant parmesan. Okay, so I'm going to start with this jar of spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce that we made when we were canning all of my tomatoes. So I'm going to start with a little bit of that in the bottom. Then I'm gonna layer in the eggplant. Decided to switch into a smaller pan just because I don't have as much eggplant as I thought I did. Okay, and then I'm going to top this with a little bit more of the sauce. Now, would be good to have mozzarella cheese. I don't have any. I'm going to have to get some this week because we like pizza and stuff like that. But I've got this Colby Jack. So that is what I'm going to put on here. Again, mozzarella would be so much better. I just don't have any. And some Parmesan, freshly grated. And then we're going to put another layer of eggplant on. And a little more sauce. I'm not trying to drown it in sauce, even though that sauce smells so good. A little more cheese. And then we're just gonna make some noodles to like serve this on top of. That's it. This is going into the oven. Okay, so that's gonna bake for about 15-20 minutes. While it's baking, I'm gonna go in and put some noodles on. I don't need to show you that. And then we'll make the salad in the salad dressing. And the little bit of pasta sauce that's left in here, I'm just gonna toss with the noodles that we're making. All right, let's do it. So we're gonna start with about a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. About 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. Some finely grated Parmesan cheese. About a tablespoon of mayonnaise, about a tablespoon of sugar, some Italian seasoning, or you could just do basil, oregano, and do it that way. And a little more black pepper, a little bit of salt. And now we're gonna just shake, shake, shake. Get that all mixed up together. Then you just wanna give it a little taste. Make sure you don't need anything else in it. Still working on that organic lettuce here. So I'm gonna cut the tip off here. Our bunnies will like that. And this is just for a few of us eating, so I don't need to make a huge salad. add that to this bowl. A couple of you mentioned about green onions, growing them in the windowsill. I have done that many times. I was trying to go through all the ones that I'd froze from our garden. So I haven't bought green onions in a while, but I will definitely buy them again, and I definitely do that. Actually, I just store them. If you just store them in like a mason jar with water on your like windowsill, they grow really tall too. And then as you clip them, they just continue to grow and you get these big, beautiful roots. I have done that for years. I just, like I said, I haven't had any to do that. I gotta let my dog in. I'm doing it, babe. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna add some tomato. I just have this tomato. We cut just a slice off for a sandwich when Charles was going to work. So I need to use this one up. So I'm gonna add that to the salad. We also had gotten some cucumber in that last box. So I'm going to add some of that to our salad as well. And I got this avocado that I opened the other day. When we had the enchiladas. So I'm gonna just cut off this darker part. And I'm gonna add that to our salad as well. And then I'm just gonna top it with a little bit of this Parmesan cheese. A little black pepper. A lot of you have been asking also if we have a P.O. box. We do, and it is listed down below in the description box. And we definitely love to hear from everybody. And I'm adding a little bit of salt. That's it. The salad is done. And then we have the delicious dressing to go with it. Alright, so here is the eggplant Parmesan. Okay, and this is how I plated it. Now, if I had some fresh basil, I would do a little bit of fresh basil on it. This is Charles's, and if I had a little whipped cream, I'd do a little whipped cream on top of the pudding. But that is dinner tonight. So the plate I just showed you is Charles's. I'm about to run that to him in bed because he is not feeling good. Hopefully he'll eat some of this and keep up his energy. But I will see all of you guys tomorrow. I'm sorry it wasn't a full day of meals and just cooked dinner with me. I just needed to get this cleaning done, and tomorrow will be a full day of what we're eating. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you tomorrow for a full day of budget meals. Bye everybody. Have a great day or night wherever you are.